Runway. Building a runway can be a complex and highly specialized process that involves various factors such as site selection, design, construction, and safety considerations. Here are some general steps that may be involved in building a runway. Site selection. The first step in building a runway is to identify a suitable site for the runway. Factors that need to be considered include the location, size, topography, soil conditions, and surrounding terrain. Design and engineering. Once a suitable site has been identified, the next step is to design the runway. This involves determining the length, width, and orientation of the runway, as well as the slope, drainage, and other design features. This requires the input of experienced engineers and architects who specialize in airport and runway design. Permits and approvals. Before construction can begin, it is essential to obtain the necessary permits and approvals from relevant authorities. This may include environmental permits, zoning permits, and permits from aviation authorities. Construction. The actual construction of the runway involves various tasks such as grading, leveling, paving, and marking. This requires specialized equipment and a skilled workforce to carry out the work safely and efficiently. Safety considerations. Finally, it is essential to ensure that the runway meets all safety requirements. This involves installing lighting, signage, and other safety features, as well as implementing procedures for managing air traffic and responding to emergencies. Building a runway is a complex process that requires careful planning, design, and construction. It is essential to engage experienced professionals who have the knowledge and expertise to ensure that the runway meets all safety and regulatory requirements. Building a runway involves several technical aspects that must be carefully considered to ensure the safety and efficiency of the runway. Some of these aspects include runway orientation and length. The orientation and length of the runway must be carefully chosen based on factors such as prevailing winds, aircraft types, and surrounding terrain. The runway should be long enough to accommodate the largest aircraft that will use it and provide enough distance for takeoff and landing. Runway width. The width of the runway should be sufficient to allow for safe takeoff and landing, as well as provide enough clearance for the wings of the aircraft. The International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, recommends a minimum width of 45 meters for runways serving large aircraft. Pavement design. The pavement design for the runway should be able to withstand the weight and impact of aircraft during takeoff and landing. The pavement should be smooth, even, and free of cracks and other defects that could pose a safety hazard. Markings and lighting. The runway should be clearly marked with runway numbers, centerline markings, touchdown zone markings, and other relevant markings to aid pilots in their approach and landing. Additionally, runway lighting should be installed to provide visual guidance during nighttime and low visibility conditions. Safety areas. Safety areas should be provided at the end of the runway to allow for aircraft overrun or undershoot. These areas should be free of obstacles and provide a suitable surface for the safe deceleration of the aircraft. Drainage. Adequate drainage must be provided to prevent water from accumulating on the runway surface, which could cause hydroplaning and other safety hazards. Environmental considerations. The environmental impact of the runway must also be considered, including factors such as noise pollution, air pollution, and the impact on local ecosystems. These are just a few of the technical aspects that must be considered when building a runway. Each aspect must be carefully planned and executed to ensure a safe and efficient runway for aircraft operations.